where were we?
Well, we'll just have to think. Where what you were talking about your time? Was it Champion Avenue or is this the? That was
Champion Avenue's before the west side.
the West Side by Central
Yeah,
High School.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So what do you call that? The projects.
yeah. The housing project.
Okay. So tell me what you wanted. You had some things about. Didn't you go to an abattoir or something for entertainment?
Oh, what?
A butcher.
A butcher.
The place where they cut up the animals.
Oh, oh.
You've told me this story before.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't recognize the terminology you were using.
An abattoir is
Okay,
where they
yeah.
slaughter
We
a slaughterhouse.
we lived across the street from a great big public housing public park. Now it's got a swimming pool in it, but when we lived there, it didn't. It was just a big empty park. So we would go across the street. A lot of times we would take a sack with our sandwiches in and just go across the street, sit underneath a tree, and have a picnic. And we didn't know any better. We figured that was a picnic. But then one thing we did was to go to the slaughterhouse, which was clear way on the other side of the park. I forget what it is now. It was Ava's Rent-A-Car or something now, uh, but it was a slaughterhouse, and we would go over to the slaughterhouse, and the window was open. It just had a screen across the window you could see in, and they were what I don't know if they just did cows. 'Cause that's what we saw. The dead cow would come in on a attached to a something or other, and drop it down, and then the guys were there with their knives or whatever. Yeah, and they would cut up the cow, and we watched. It was very interesting. It was very interesting.
And you got splattered?
And we would go home, yeah, with red blood spatters
You
on
were
our.
that close.
Well, we were, yeah,
You'd walk home and your mother would see you covered in blood.
yeah. Well, we weren't covered in blood.
Have
We
you
just
been
had
fighting?
spatters on our face. That's all. I mean, how do you learn things without watching?
I
And
don't
you know,
I don't know. A lot of people nowadays don't know where their food comes from.
yeah, and
So,
yeah, and it was very interesting. It didn't turn us off from eating beef at all. We didn't know any better.
Of course not.
So that would just been me and probably Mick.
Mick, yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
'Cause Peter would have been.
And we didn't do anything else in the park. We just had picnics and watched them cutting up cows.
And this was during the war, so
I
you would have been
suppose
5, 6, 7, 8, something like that.
we moved there when Mick was little, so that'd be early in the war, and we were there until '49.
Okay.
So yeah, I would stand at the window in our apartment and watch and listen to the planes going over, and I knew they were going. It was the Strategic Air Command. They were going to Lockbourne Air Force Base.
Okay.
Yeah, which was south of town.
Okay.
Yeah, and so anyhow, school was fine, as far as I know. I don't know if it was any good or not. I mean, I always had a good time. When we went out for recess, we didn't have any playground equipment or anything. We just run around and play tag on the field and all. And I went to to see the school one time when I was in Columbus, and of course it's gone.
Yeah.
It's so sad. So
My elementary school's gone too.
yeah, yeah, all right.
Just recently.
I saw them taking yours down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
So anyhow, let's see, the housing project. Oh, from the housing project, it was only a couple of blocks to the bus station, bus stop, and so we would go, probably Mick and me, maybe sometimes just me, over to the bus stop, and get on the city bus, and I would get on the city bus and I'd ride all over town. I'd ride out in the East End. There was a theater out there. I would ride the South End. That was a Livingston. Up in the South End, that was a Markham. I would go to the movies there. Up in the North End, I go to movies there. Out in West End, I went to movies all over town on the city bus.
And at the Ohio Theater.
Went to the Ohio Theater, yeah. I could walk to the Ohio Theater. Ohio Theater was my neighborhood movie theater.
So have to
could
walk
walk
across
there.
the river.
Hmm?
You would just have to cross the river.
No,
Central's on the same side of the river. Central
Central.
High School. You lived
I
over.
thought you were talking about the Ohio.
Yeah. I don't. Okay, you tell me.
Well, we went to the Ohio Theater.
Okay.
Yeah, but I could walk downtown to Lazarus and to Woolworths,
Mm-hmm.
and I did.
You were a city girl.
Hmm?
You were a city girl.
Yeah, yeah. I could walk to the main part of the downtown, and that's what I did. But then I rode the bus to theaters, movie theaters, and we rode the bus when the circus was in town.
Mm-hmm.
We got on the bus and rode to wherever the heck that was. I don't know where it was.
This was before you moved to Grandview.
Right, this is all on the west side.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, on the west side when we lived in the housing project.
And so, what year did you move to Grandview?
49.
And so you were still, let's see, 37. You would have been 12. So you weren't even in high school yet. You were
Right.
still middle school.
It was when I graduated from grade schools when we
Okay.
moved.
Okay.
Yeah, we had taken a field trip out to Starling Junior High School, which was on Central Avenue, a few blocks from the White Castle, across the street from the asylum, and this is where I would have gone to junior high school if we had stayed in the housing project. And it was explained to us how we would go and get on the city bus to ride to school. We didn't have a school bus; we had the city bus to ride to junior high school.
Okay.
But I ended up not going to junior high school there because that's when we moved to Grandview. I was trying to think if there was something else. Riding the buses, going shopping. I guess that's pretty much the
That
excitement.
was your whole life, was picnics and
Watching the slaughter.
slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not so strange.
That's
It's right in your backyard. You go and see it.
That's pretty strange.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so
So then we moved we moved to Grandview when I was starting. We call it junior high school then. They call it middle school now, I guess, or something. And I didn't know anything about what was going on. Mother just sent me off to school, and so I went and sat around there. There wasn't anybody in the office, and I just sat around until I don't know how I finally got checked in or anything, because the teachers were doing their classes, and
there's this kid here.
yeah, and I was just sitting in the office. So I don't know if I ever went over to the high school saying, "Hey, is there anybody going to take care of me or what?" But eventually, I guess somebody did.
Somehow you got put in a class.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got to go to classes there, and the most traumatic thing was gym, and you had to go to the locker room and take off your clothes and put on your gym shorts and shirt for gym. And the gym teacher was the same female for the middle school, junior high school, as for the high school. So she had both. So anyhow, I had a gym, and we had one of my favorite classes was Ohio. Ohio.
You learned Ohio history.
Well, it was Ohio, so it was history and geography and all kinds of good things. I liked it. Marie Muehlbauer.
I think we had Ohio history in 7th grade, so probably there was a requirement for 7th graders.
I think we
Throughout the
had it in
state.
8th grade, but
7th
so
grade, yeah.
yeah, whatever. They had music. There was a music room. They had band, but I never did band. I don't know. I guess I wasn't ever invited to choose an instrument or something. I don't know. I never had band, although there was a band practice in middle school.
That's what we need to talk about. We
Did
didn't
he
talk
have
about your
band?
clarinet. Yeah, he had.
He had clarinet sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I didn't have an instrument. I had piano lessons. Started when I was in grade school, actually.
Wow.
And I walked. That's why I wanted to take you into Columbus sometime and show you where I lived in Franklinton and how we walked here and here and here. We walked all around, and then of course we left Franklinton to go over to across the river to the downtown. That was, but we walked I walked. I don't know if Mick took piano lessons there or not. To the Sisters of Mercy. One of the Sisters of Mercy, nun, was my piano teacher, and we walked over to the, I called it the nunnery. I forget what they really call it, but that's the place I went and
Abbey?
looked. Huh?
Abbey, maybe?
I don't think so, but that's one place where I went to look at when we were in Columbus one time, and it's torn down. So every place that I did anything or went or knew or whatever, it's gone. You know.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I had piano lessons there through the 6th grade, and when I was in the plains, very much when the kids got what you said was whooping cough or something,
I thought you told me one time it was whooping cough.
whatever. Well, I was in school in the 2nd grade, and Mother didn't want me to miss any school, so she sent me to the plains to stay with Grandma.
Okay, so because there was an outbreak of whooping cough,
Well,
but you didn't have it yet,
I didn't have it,
she got.
but my
you got-
siblings had
Your
it.
siblings had it.
Yeah, so she sent me to the plains, and
To your grandparents.
yeah, and so I went to school there, and I could walk to school from that place too, without even crossing the main road,
Right.
just around through people's fields in the back.
Right.
I can show you that too. But what?
So you were there for how long in the plains?
Just a part of the 2nd
Just
grade.
a few months, maybe. Until
Yeah,
the whooping
I
cough?
don't know how long it was.
So that would have been you were in about mid-40s. So during the war, after the war.
Oh, it was during the war.
It was during the war. Okay.
Yeah. So anyhow, I walked to school, and walked home for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And one time, for some reason, I don't know why, a special event happened, and some of the kids that were from farther away always ate lunch there. And they served lunch. I can show you the building that they served the lunch in. But we went trooping over to this building, and I got to go and have lunch there, and I don't know why. I don't know whether Grandma had something else to do that day or what. And we had bean soup and cornbread.
Oh, your favorites.
One of my favorite meals.
So you may never left.
Don't you like bean soup and cornbread?
Of course.
Yeah.
I think I made you cornbread one time recently.
Yeah.
I found out later, this will be on the tape anyway, but eating cornbread in restaurants and things like that, that they put sugar in that now. And so it's like, that's why the cornbread is so popular, because they have sugar. I don't think we put sugar in our cornbread, so it was kind of,
I don't know.
it was less like a dessert and more like a
Yeah.
bread.
Yeah, well, I don't like that.
And I
don't
passed
like
by
it.
the Plains Elementary, because Susan lives out there, and it's the I don't know what it's called, the block that has the year in it. It was built in 1922.
Is that the one that's across the street from her?
Yes. it's
That's the
one
high school.
Right. Well, okay. I'm sorry. It's been used as a Plains Elementary. It was used as a Plains Elementary when I was
Oh, it was?
in elementary school. That was.
Oh,
well,
it was?
There's 2 buildings there. The front one that's on the street is 1922. Anyway, back to you.
Okay. The one I went to 2nd grade in is not there anymore.
Not there anymore.
It's another one of things from my youth that are gone.
Oh, so 2nd grade. You said 2nd grade.
I went in the 2nd grade.
Got it.
And I guess we were reading the same thing at my home school, but I was farther ahead. So the teacher, the kids in the class, she'd do something, give them some project or other, and she and I went out in the hall, and I did my reading in the hall with the teacher. I don't remember who the teacher was.
No.
I know teachers out there. There was a pair of sisters that lived on my grandparents' street, and of course I know who they are, but I never had them in school. They must have been a higher grade or high school or something.
Yeah.
The Cooper sisters.
Yeah.
So anyhow, until 49, I was riding the bus all over town
Mhm.
and watching the slaughterhouse, and all kinds of fun stuff like that. Oh, I was going to tell you, Mother had a very strong, loud whistle that I have never been able to duplicate. But we lived on the 2nd floor in the housing project, and when she wanted us to come home for meals or whatever, she used to open the window and whistled. And we could be out on the playground or wherever. We heard Mother whistle, and we went home. Yeah. So anyhow, she did that. I guess that's most of it for, and then we moved when I was uh, graduating from the sixth grade.
When you were roughly 12.
That's when we moved out to Grandview.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then you spent in Grandview. You were there for until through high school,
yeah.
and then before you went to college. So okay, you want to talk about Grandview?
If I think anything good to say, yeah.
You obviously made a lot of friends because you keep going to all the reunions. So you have friends
I
in
go,
Grandview.
well, no, you go to a reunion to make friends with people that didn't have anything to do with you in high
Is
school.
that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if Gene's is like that or not, but mine was. But yeah, I mean, there's people there, and you knew them when you were in high school, but they didn't have anything to do with you.
Yeah.
And suddenly, you're old buddies
Well,
at reunions.
because you had the same experiences.
I guess
at the
so.
time. Yeah.
I guess so.
So there's
But
that
they had a
intimacy.
new, I was going to say kindergarten. I guess it was kindergarten. A new kindergarten building, because there hadn't been kindergarten before.
Mm.
And sometime or other, I went in and looked around and checked it out. But I was starting in the seventh grade, and Millie was starting in kindergarten. And she went to that new kindergarten building.
Okay.
And I guess the boys, Mick and Peter, they must have been down at Stevenson Elementary. Peter was in early, if Millie was in kindergarten, he must have been in like the second grade.
Yeah.
And Nick was in the fifth grade, maybe.
Yeah,
No,
you were
sixth grade.
He would have been
Yeah,
fifth, but you were seventh.
Mick would have been in Columbus Boy Choir School, and then sixth grade he came back to Stevenson Elementary. And I didn't go to Stevenson Elementary because I'd already been to school at Feeser in Columbus, so I didn't go to grade school in Grandview.
Did you do anything exciting in high school? Were you in any clubs or activities or
Well,
anything?
mostly I just got ignored.
Mhm.
But I had the same gym teacher that I had in middle school,
Boo.
and Miss Peterson.
Remember
The
that one.
field between the middle school was one building, and right next to it was the grade school. And so I was in this middle school, I never was in this grade school. And then there was a big field, and over there was the high school.
Okay, so they're all pretty close
One
together.
street, here's First Avenue, and there's Third Avenue. And in between us high school and the middle school was great big field. So that was baseball and softball and different other things. The playground field. And they talked about some buildings that had gone on, and I need to get back there and see how much of the playing field they took up with buildings.
Mm-hmm. And your brother played football for Grandview High School.
Yeah.
And later for
And somebody asked me one time, would you ever see Mick play ball? No.
no, because you were already in college. You'd already left town,
I don't know. I just
You don't
never
remember?
did.
and then
Don't think.
he played for Oberlin. Was it Oberlin?
He might have played for Oberlin a year.
Yeah.
He was only there a year and a half.
Okay.
So then I was in high school, and I think now about how you see all the schools that are flat, one floor.
Mm-hmm.
And ours was more than one floor. And, so they're not handicap accessible worth a darn. There's-
No, they didn't have elevators back then, right? But building the one floor ones is just cheaper, so they built the cheapest thing they can.
Well, I don't know, but I mean, it's you have to do it because there's a commercial that I see, and there's a kid tooling down the hallway in his wheelchair. Well, you can't do that if you have a more than one floor.
Well, you can if
school.
you have elevators. and
If you have
ramps.
elevators, yeah.
They've solved that.
But of
problem.
course, we didn't have elevators in
No.
those days. No. So anyhow, in high school, I didn't think that I was going to be into academic stuff. So I started my freshman year and I took home economics. I hated the home economics teacher. Not all teachers are likable.
Well, you didn't like the teacher.
That's what I said, I didn't like the teacher.
Oh, okay, I couldn't.
I thought that's what.
You might have
So
said
anyhow, I took home economics, and so you're cooking, which I already knew how to cook because I did that at home, and you're sewing, which I didn't know how to do because I didn't do that at home, and the teacher worked with the people that already knew how to sew.
Right.
She didn't work with me, so I didn't care for her. Jean Baugh,
Hmm.
Baughh, Baugh.
You still hold a grudge.
Huh?
And you still hold a grudge.
Oh yeah. Well, I after school, I didn't I learned a few things about what you call these different things and whatever, but I had occasion to take a coat. I might even still have it that had a lining in it that was worn out. I took that coat and I laid it on the floor, and I took the old lining out, and I made a new lining and sewed the new lining in. You don't remember that?
By hand or with a machine? You pretty much used machines, and you had machines in those.
I had machine, yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't
You
remember.
you used to do sewing. Not you didn't like sew dresses from scratch, but you would mend things.
I mended things,
Until
yeah.
your mending pile, you used to put things in the mending pile, and that mending pile would kind of
I mended things,
get
yeah.
kind of big after a while. And then
Yeah.
it became, I guess it starts out as the mending pile, then it becomes the rag pile.
Well, I did what I could
You do
do.
what you can do, sure.
Yeah.
Most people nowadays throw it away. I
Yeah.
sew things. I've got patches, and I've got pants with holes in them that I patch, that I sew.
Yeah,
up.
there you go. There you
Yeah,
go. Yeah.
perfectly good. They're perfectly good. Everything else is fine. It's just got a hole in it. Just sew it up.
So anyhow, I had home economics, and I had English, Latin, and probably algebra. Anyhow,
Chemistry?
not
You did-
freshman.
so did you have any? Oh, but did you have any science classes in high school? Did you take chemistry or physics?
General science.
General
Yes,
science.
yes,
Okay.
general science. So anyhow, I liked classes, and when I was a sophomore, I had plane geometry. That was great fun. I loved plane geometry.
All right.
I didn't ever get solid geometry, but just got plane, and English again, and I can't plane geometry in English. I don't know if I had any social studies. I don't remember, but anyhow, we had, I don't know if Jean had them at Lancaster, but we had tests, scholarship tests, where you went somewhere. I guess we went to Ohio State, and you took these tests that were general knowledge to test how you were, and I think I went most years, something or other. I know when I was.
Was this to qualify for college, or this just
No,
like
it's
an
just
SAT
it's
kind of test?
No,
or
it's just testing to see if you're any good.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I think it was sophomore year when I was going to take a test, and the Latin teacher wanted me to take the Latin test, and the bookkeeping teacher wanted me to take bookkeeping test, and they stood out in the hall and they fought over me. No, I don't.
Wow, you were a scholar.
Well, I was good in those subjects.
Yeah. And so you took
Probably bookkeeping.
the bookkeeping one, and the rest is history.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
But anyhow, I took those tests. I probably took English the other years.
So, and your dad was still accounting
Yes.
for various businesses. This is before he went into private practice. He did that later. So you were still.
Well, he went into private practice. I mean, when you say private practice, do you mean working for somebody else instead of or working for himself?
Well, so I don't really know exactly what he did. Whether he was a staff accountant with the Beasley, like you said, the Beasley company, or whether he was hired as an accountant from a firm, an accounting firm that was hired to do the books for. I don't know how it worked.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he was with Beasley until we moved to Columbus, and then he was with a firm, Baldwin, Loughborough, and Moore.
Okay, so he was in private practice
Yeah.
with a firm.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they would do the books for companies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you thought that was a pretty good idea. So, okay, you want to talk more about high school? You want to tell us how you managed to trick OU into accepting you?
Well, high school was pretty good, some scholarship wise. I was not popular in high school. They had sororities, and I got blackballed for 3 years.
Wow.
And then finally, they took me in my
High school
senior year.
they had sororities in high school?
And fraternities, yeah.
Weird. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I guess they just look for any excuse to exclude people.
Clicks.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if I just always assumed I was going to go to college or not. I don't know. I was in junior achievement. I don't know if you know junior achievement. Well, I was in junior achievement for as many years as I could do it, and I got a small scholarship, $100 or something from them. The Exact Weight Scale Company on Fifth Avenue was our sponsor,
All right.
and you had a person that
Exact
worked with you on production, and a person that worked with you on sales, and a person that worked with you on
Go ahead.
a person that worked with you on finance, keeping the books, and how do you keep track of things. So is that going to be an end or something?
What I want to do right now